No wonder they say that the Amazon is the lungs of the world. After all, there are 7 million square kilometers in forest and rivers. If it were a country, the Amazon rainforest would be larger than India and only a little smaller than Australia. But the Amazon is not just the lungs of the world, it's also the air conditioning. Its flora absorbs a large amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, regulating the world's temperatures. Not counting the 20 billion tons of water released daily in the form of humidity in the so-called floating rivers that are able to reach and regulate all of South America's climate. Besides being the lungs and air conditioning, the Amazon rainforest is also the faucet of the world, responsible for 1/5 of all the fresh water on the planet. Just like a nursery or a garden of the world, harboring the greatest biodiversity ever seen. But these are trophies with an expiration date, and this date is not far. If the current pace of deforestation continues, the green and rich Amazon will turn into a yellow and sterile desert. The first signs are already here. Without trees, the food chain becomes compromised, leading thousands of species to extinction. The land dries out and oxygen production drastically decreases, which will cause serious problems worldwide. To prevent this fate, it is necessary to take action. There are several ways to preserve the richness of the Amazon, and today, among the thousands of trees, small insects, and large rivers, we'll meet a team from UNESCO with a peculiar mission, but of extreme importance: to quantify carbon. From Guarulhos to Porto-Velo's airport, and now in a single engine headed to Amazon, landing in an airstrip at the Amazon Roosevelt Inn, totaling 6 hours of travel. But when the team lands in the depths of Amazon, there will be no time for fraternization or rest. The mission is urgent, time is short, and the boat doesn't wait. And now 5 hours going up this river. Let it be noted that according to the guides, it is considered to be small. The team faces a rocky obstacle, but for the experienced guides, this is not a problem. They only have to disassemble everything and carry the boats to the other side. Upon arrival, the team does not waste any time. They get settled and start to prepare the equipment. The rich biodiversity has its price to be paid. Here, the clothes do not dry, the sounds of animals do not stop, and where you have light and heat, you also have clouds of insects. At sunrise, the team departs to the land where they will collect samples for the quantification of carbon, an area of about 150,000 square acres. But why quantify the carbon of all this region? There are several ways to preserve the environment and fight pollution: sustainable construction and production, converting cars, raising awareness in the population, and so forth. All of them with a noble purpose, but an expensive execution. That's where the idea of the carbon title came, which managed to do the impossible. It made environmentalism profitable. Whoever owns land in the Amazon or any other place quantifies the level and quantity of carbon present in these lands. The methods of this evaluation vary from country to country. Our team from UNESCO, for example, is using an innovative method that we will show in a moment. What matters is that this carbon quantification will grant the owner of the land the aforementioned carbon title, which they can keep or sell to another person or company that needs this valuable title, moving the gears of the speculative market. Everyone wins. The owner of the land is happy, and the forest is intact. The first group delimits the portion of land where the samples will be collected. After that, they proceed with the process of quantification on the trees, because they also have carbon in their composition. They measure the size and thickness of the trunk, and then catalog their species. This also contributes to the botanical survey of the Amazon. According to scientists, 4,000 species of trees are yet to be discovered in the Amazon, and efforts like this will bring us closer to the final stage. At the same time, groups 2 and 3 have already begun their efforts to collect samples. But to get to the soil, they have to go through the serrapilera, a layer above the soil composed of organic materials such as leaves, twigs, flowers, and dead animals. Samples are also collected here. When they get to the soil, the most important and arduous task begins. What differentiates the efforts of the two groups is the methodology. Group 2 will collect samples horizontally using a piece of equipment created by UNESP called Castle, and this is the small ring that will collect the sample. Group 3 works with the auger, which, like the Castle, collects samples in deeper areas than the European methods. Today's assignment is finished, but tomorrow the process repeats, and on the day after, and so on, until all the necessary samples are collected. 3 weeks later, the team leaves the trees and insects behind. The team finished the assignment, but our story doesn't end there. To continue, we will have to travel to Botukatu, where a team of technicians will receive the samples for analysis. The true carbon quantification is done here. It's here in the middle of these machines and containers that our trip ends. The report is generated, the carbon title is granted, and the Earth remains intact. Operations like that occur in every corner of the Amazon. Discreet, but deeply impactful. It's this way, step by step, sample by sample, that difference is made. This is not only about the carbon title, it goes way beyond that. It's about the preservation of life in the Amazon. Our story may finish in the lab, but for thousands of animals and plants, it continues here on these 150,000 acres. That is the true mission.